always had time to answer our questions. But perhaps the greatest bond we have found at Gilman is the one that has grown among our classmates. We all knew what we had to do to succeed at Gilman, but none of us made it here today in the same way. Each of us had something different and something unique to offer to Gilman and to one another. There is always a temptation for people to relate only to those with the same interests and the same outlooks, but each of us has come to realize that we can learn a lot from someone who has had different experiences and has different viewpoints on life. I know every senior before you today is looking forward with mixed feelings to meeting new people at the colleges we will attend. We will miss our friends here at Gilman, but we have come to understand that something special can be learned from everyone we will encounter. None of us should consciously let these chances slip away. Hand in hand with a broad range of friends comes a broad range of interests. The world is rapidly becoming one of specialization. As we continue on our education, we will be forced to narrow our fields of study until we too are specialists. In such a world, it is easy to abandon the Renaissance ideal of virtu, or the idea that a man should be extensively trained in both the mind and the body. We still have the opportunity to expand and discover numerous aspects of life, far removed from our specialty. At Gilman, such opportunities are seized by many, and with colleges having even more diverse offerings, these same chances will multiply. There is a growing trend in this country to de-emphasize SATs and college scores and college board scores and put more weight on an applicant's overall and broader education and interests. A wide variety of achievement and success is becoming more attractive than a prematurely specialized program of study. To each senior, I hope that the sense of curiosity and exploration will prevail over that security of limiting and concentrating one's efforts. There still remains a special group of people who have not yet been thanked and who rarely receive their well-deserved recognition. Of course, these people are our parents. Every sorrow and every joy that we feel is partly their joy and partly their sorrow. They have provided the loving and caring environment in which we were able to pursue our goals by ourselves. But we could always fall back on them for guidance and advice. They too know what it took for us to succeed here at Gilman, but they let us find it in our own way. It was their encouragement and gentle goading that kept us going and got us here today. So to our friends, the good times will not end here today. New friendships will be made, but these here at Gilman will endure for lifetimes. And to Gilman and to all its people, you have given us a sense of what it takes to succeed in this world. We can only try to repay what you have given us by being proud ambassadors of the honor, personal freedom, and high standards which you stand for. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Most of the awards which are described in your program were presented at our special Awards Day ceremony held on May 26. The names of the recipients of all prizes have been printed in the commencement issue of the Gilman News, which will be available outside the gymnasium after these proceedings are concluded. As was mentioned on Awards Day, Gilman School is deeply grateful to all of the families and individuals whose generosity and continued interest make possible the many meaningful prizes which are presented. We're especially grateful for the wording of the citations, which emphasize achievement in many areas as well as qualities of character and service. On behalf of the school, I express most grateful appreciation to all of the donors, both past and present, for making possible such an array of meaningful awards. I now ask Mr. Mercer Neal, head of the upper school, to join me in presenting the first group of final prizes. The William S. Thomas Scholarship Prizes for highest scholarship emblematic of first academic ranking in each class, have been provided by the will of Mr. Thomas. Listed in your program are the names of the persons in whose honor the prizes are given. I now ask the following, who are this year's leading scholars in their respective classes, to please come forward. For the 9th grade, 3rd form, Frederick B. Can. For the 4th form, 10th grade, Van C. Durr, 2nd. For the 5th form, 11th grade, Andrew S. Barker. For the 6th form, 12th grade, there is a tie. Richard Joseph Maffezoli, Nelson Kevin Son, and the valedictorian, Edgar Robert Kent III. Congratulations. I also call your attention to all of those seniors who have achieved cum laude. You will note in your program the names of those boys who were admitted to the Cum Laude Society, either as juniors or seniors. On behalf of the faculty, I congratulate all of the students, along with all upper schoolers who have achieved academic honor roll, which is an 85 average or over. All students who have achieved this distinction, academic honor roll, will be notified in the mailing of the final grade report. We will now proceed to the final 5 awards listed in your program. The William Cabell Bruce Jr. Athletic Prize is awarded to the boy in one of the 4 upper forms most conspicuous for general proficiency in athletic sports and exercises over a 2-year period, and this without having incurred the reproach of questionable conduct in any respect. It gives me great pleasure to present the award this year to Andrew K. Dunkerton. The Peter B. Blanchard Award goes to that boy who, by his cheerful helpfulness, in many ways has greatly contributed to the successful and pleasant life of the school. The award always goes to students who are considered especially helpful and sensitive to the needs of others. This year, the award is to be shared by 2 seniors, Edward Emmett Sharkey and Robert Douglas Zora. The Edward Fenimore Award is awarded to that senior whose Gilman career has been marked by extraordinary courage, determination, perseverance, and accomplishment. These qualities were especially evidenced by Eddie Fenimore while a student here at Gilman and in college. It gives me great pleasure to present this award jointly to Theodore Roosevelt McKeldin III and Mark Cosma Svalas. The Daniel Baker Jr. Memorial Award is given to a member of the graduating class who, through thoughtfulness and by reason of his life and character, has contributed to the general welfare of his fellow men. It gives me great pleasure to present the award this year to Andrew K. Dunkerton. The William A. Fisher Medallion is awarded on the basis of scholarship, leadership, and character to a boy of high scholastic standing who, in the opinion of the faculty, has rendered the highest service to the school. It is indeed an honor and privilege to present this award to Bradley Emerson Wheeler. The very special ingredients of a school include both students and faculty and staff. Gilman is so fortunate not only to have outstanding students, but we also have a distinguished faculty. It is therefore fitting to take a moment at this ceremony to pay special tribute to some of our faculty. It has been a long tradition at Gilman to recognize each faculty member upon his or her completion of 20 years of service to Gilman. Fortunately, Gilman has had many people in this category. It gives me great pleasure this year to present an engraved plate to a teacher who joined the Gilman faculty in 1966, following several years in the Foreign Service and a brief time as a writer. He is a member of the Upper School English Department, Wilson Miles Carey Woodward. I now call your attention to the second to last page of your program, which makes reference to faculty support funds. Gilman is deeply grateful to Mrs. Edward K. Dunn, her daughter Annine, and her two sons, Edward K. Dunn Jr., Gilman 1953, and Pierce Butler Dunn, class of 1968. For establishing a fund in honor and memory of Mr. Edward K. Dunn Sr., an alumnus of the class of 1918, who served Gilman as a trustee for 44 years, including the presidency of the board from 1949 until 1956. It was one of his special goals to do all he could to support the faculty. It's a privilege now to honor 5 Gilman faculty members as Dunn Fellows for the coming 1986-87 academic year. I ask the President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. George Thompson, and the Alumni Association President, Mr. James Hardesty, to join me in presenting framed citations and cash awards to the following who are declared Dunn Fellows: Mrs. Susan V. Dickey, Mr. William R. Merrick, Mr. Donald Rogers, Mr. Douglas Lewis, and Mr. John R. Thompson. Would they please come forward? You will also note in your program a brand new faculty award which is being given for the first time this year. Through the guidance and leadership of Mr. G. Cheston Carey, Jr., a member of the class of 1947, a parent of 2 Gilman graduates, a Gilman trustee from 1975 to 1983, the class of 1947 has raised an endowment fund, the income of which will be used to reward those faculty members selected on the basis of meritorious teaching. I now ask Mr. G. Cheston Carey, as representative of the class of 1947, and as a distinguished supporter of this school in many, many ways, to join me in presenting the first class of 1947 Meritorious Teaching Award to a teacher who has been at Gilman since 1963. He's a teacher of chemistry. The quality of his performance and the excellence of his product are superior. He is also the head of the science department, Mr. John F. Bartkowski. The Edward T. Russell Chair is presented each year to a Gilman faculty member who has been especially devoted to the school and who helps to perpetuate the life and ideals of Mr. Ed Russell, a distinguished teacher, coach, and advisor on the Gilman faculty for 48 years. He also maintained a close association with the school for 11 years following his retirement until his death in 1974. The recipient of the Russell Chair for 1986-1987 is a teacher who has served on the Gilman faculty for 27 years. He is a provocative and stimulating history teacher. He is a gifted athletic coach. He is a loyal and trusted friend and advisor. I ask Mr. Nicholas M. Schloter to come forward. Although we have honored them on the occasion of some other ceremonies, we also want to take this opportunity to mention, albeit briefly and inadequately, those faculty who are leaving Gilman at the conclusion of this year. From the lower school, Mr. Sandy Bishop. From the middle school, Mr. Carter Knipp and Mr. Al Meadows and Ms. Amy Rogers. From the upper school, Ms. Dana Bucock and Mr. J.B. Howard. And from the administration, the head of the middle school, Mr. Paul Killebrew, who has served this school as head for 10 years. We give them our best wishes. We will follow their progress with the greatest of interest, and I'd like you to give them a round of applause. I would now like to call on the President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. George Thompson, to say a few words. Mr. Thompson.
Mr. Finney, ladies and gentlemen, one of the nice things about Founders Day for the person who is President of the Board of Trustees is the chance to say thank you to some people who deserve our thanks very much. To the seniors who are graduating today, I want to say thank you for what you have done for the school. In addition to your other curricular, extracurricular, and athletic accomplishments, you have carried the concept of community service to new heights of participation and quality for this school. And you have provided us with a new honor court that will help the school make its honor code even more effective in the years to come. To you parents of the graduating seniors, we say thank you for the support that you have shown the school, as you and the school have worked to make these young men what they are and what they will be. You have been a very supportive group of parents. To the faculty, the heart of the school, we say thank you again. Typical of the strength of this faculty is the fact that after a nationwide search to find a new head of the middle school, we found that the best candidate was on our own faculty. To my fellow trustees and to the many other volunteers who have helped them, we say thank you very much. To mention just two items, under Stan Kleinfelder's leadership, you have already increased the annual giving this year by over 20%, a very significant achievement. While at the same time, a group of you under Richard Tillman's leadership raised over $400,000 for the new wing that we see going up by the lower school. To Mr. Finney and the administration of the school, we say an especial thank you. This has been a banner year. And Redmond, only someone who is married to a head of an independent school can fully appreciate what that school head gives to the school. Jean knows, but some of the rest of us also think we see pretty clearly what you mean to this school, and we thank you most sincerely for what you are and what you do for all of us. And now, if you will join me, and when their sons are graduating, if those trustees who are the fathers of seniors will join us, we will honor the young men who are waiting patiently.
I'm going to say something first. That's all right, if the president of the board will allow me. It might take me about 3 minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay. We come now to the presentation of the diplomas to the members of the graduating class of 1986. We look upon this ceremony and this particular part of the ceremony as the most significant event in the life of the school. Prior to asking Mr. Thompson to perform his duty in presenting the diplomas, I would like to express gratitude to a special group of people who not only have made the financial sacrifice to send their sons to Gilman, but they have steadfastly supported both their sons and the school along the way. These people are our parents. It is also significant to note that 35 members of this graduating class, or almost 40% of the total number of 93, have one or more brothers who have attended or are currently attending Gilman. 4 families, the Breitneckers, the Flahertys, the Hesses, and the Walses, have each had 3 sons attend Gilman, and 1 family, the Auslers, has had 4. Today, Timmy Ausler is the 4th brother to attend Gilman for 12 years. His graduation marks 21 years of association with Gilman for the Ausler family, and I hesitate to add 48 years of tuition payments for Dr. and Mrs. Ausler. That's a significant commitment. In recognition and appreciation of the vitally important role parents play, and in particular recognition of the parents of the members of the graduating class of 1986, I ask you to join me in an ovation and tribute to them. The diplomas will now be presented by the President of the Board of Trustees. 3 of the graduates whose parents are Gilman trustees will have their diplomas presented by their trustee parents. The order of distribution this year will be alphabetical, so you'll know when people are coming.
Richard H. Anderson, Jr. Richard Winston Ayers, II. Nicholas Robert Gordon Baldick. Ruben G. Ballesteros. Richard Douglas Biggs, III. William Alfred Boswell. Stephen Brian Branoff. Roland Lemoyne Breitnecker. Thomas Harris Broadus, III. James William Brody. Stacy David Brown, Jr. Jeffrey Craig Buxbaum. David Lawrence Cann. Daniel Lee Kavanaugh. Stephen Young B. Choi. George Henry Clark. Brian Joseph David. Jeffrey Lee Davis, II. Gordon Hunley de Kuyper. Rob Tyler Daub. Derek Eugene Dudgeon. Andrew Keith Dunkerton. Carl Lewis Eggleston, Jr. Mark David Flaherty. Frank Lee Fleming, Jr. Hobart Vaughn Folks, Jr. Brendan Thomas Fox. John Robert Frazier, III. William Thomas Dixon Gibbs III. Darren Nikita Green. David Spencer Gross. Gregory John Gertner. Joseph Brian Paul. Daniel Bennett Hazard. Michael Gordon Heiner. William Edward Hess. Carl David Hutzler. Jonathan Paul Kagan. Edgar Robert Kent III. Andrew Todd Layton. Bradley Harris Lebo. Gregory Paul Chung-Hyun Lee. David Bradford Long. Richard Joseph Maffezoli. Raimundo Raymar Magno. Michael Edward Marr, Jr. William J. Marshall, II. Theodore Roosevelt McKeldin, III. Keith Lee Michael. Eric Paul Miller. Adam Alexander Morgan. William Hughes Murphy, III. Christopher Wade Neidlinger. Jonathan Kinley Niemeyer. Ronald James Noble, Jr. David William Norton. Thomas Alexander Offit. Christopher K.U. Olson. Timothy John Ausler. Jason Plato Pappas. Richard D. Park. Joshua Phillips. Anthony Charles Pletcher. Chung Hwan Rim. Roland Paul Sabandayo. Robert Mark Saltzman. Joshua Benjamin Sarban. Edward Emmett Sharkey. Brian Keith Scher. Zhang Hun Shin. Martin Lamar Smith. John Armistead Spillman, 5th. John Thornton Starr, 3rd. John Howard Strosacker. Nelson Kevin Sun. Mark Kozma Svolos. Jeffrey Norris Tatter. Matthew L. Taylor. David Christian Toot. Peter Woodward Tomlinson. Jonathan Ritter Treadwell. Thomas Rodney Twells, Jr. John Randall Waltz. Willie Henry Weathers III. James McCormick Webster III. Bradley Emerson Wheeler. William Wilford Whitehurst III. John MacDonald Wysong. Stephen Harris Bjurman. Honorio David E. Lazarde III. David Richard Young. Robert Douglas Zurok.
Gentlemen, thank you, gentlemen, for your enthusiasm. It is now my privilege to conclude this ceremony with some brief remarks which are addressed in particular to the graduates. You, the members of the class of 1986, have been and still are an excellent class. You have grown and matured tremendously. You have also contributed much to Gilman in the process. We of the faculty will not forget you, especially your qualities of enthusiasm that was put in here before this ceremony, and caring. Although there have been times when your enthusiasm was not always well organized or directed, you will always be remembered for your special brand of ebullience and spirit. Not only did your school spirit add much to the productive life of the school, but it also led increasingly to the enrichment of and contribution to many worthwhile activities. Both as a class and as individuals, you have achieved a significant amount during your Gilman careers, both academically and extracurricularly. We cannot recall any year when so large a number of students came on so strongly in their final Gilman careers. Indeed, it can be well documented that a much larger group of this class than we can remember achieved their best year academically as seniors. In addition, You have contributed to a wide variety of activities, including broad participation in leadership and athletics, significant involvement in clubs and extracurricular affairs, and most meaningful participation in community service. Above all, you have come to be a very caring class, particularly so for one another. Ironically, this has not always seemed to be true. Indeed, one can recall times in earlier years which saw this class on occasions insensitive to one another and rather divided and cliquish. However, overall, you have now developed a high level of unity, mutual regard for, and healthy interaction with one another. This attribute of caring also has carried over in your attitude towards others outside of your class. The ability which you have developed to find the good which lies in every human being, regardless of who they are, is admirable indeed. We encourage you to carry this special attitude with you throughout your life, for you will certainly help make this world a better place because of you. I now charge you to continue to put your talents to work toward the benefit of any community of which you become a part. Do not forget us here at Gilman, and as you reflect upon your respective Gilman experiences, give us the benefit of your insight and your review. Help Gilman continue to strive to fulfill its philosophy of a rigorous college preparatory education with a strong social and moral conscience. Support us in nurturing Gilman as a true community school with pride, but also with humility. Before the singing of our concluding hymn, I would like to remind the audience that all of the students, trustees, and faculty intend to recess from this hall immediately following the benediction. Our graduating seniors will go first, followed by the trustees, then the faculty, and then underclassmen. Will the audience please remain at their seats until the recessional is completed? We will now conclude with the hymn, O God, Our Help in Ages Past, and then the final stanza of America. Thereafter, please remain standing for the benediction by the Reverend Layton. Let us rise and sing, Our God, Our Help in Ages Past.
May the Lord encourage you to be inquisitive, that you might ponder, bold, that you might risk, receptive, that you might discover, virtuous, that you might apply your knowledge to a world that hungers for your insight, your creativity, and your compassion. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.